Hola, bienvenidos a los Diarios de Gordon. Today I'm talking in English, and it's for a good reason, because I'm going to tell you why I'm leaving Duolingo forever. And I'm starting with ChatGPT. So I'm going to do this in English, this particular video, purely because I know a lot of beginners, a lot of people are working with Duolingo. And I understand that. Duolingo is great. Not for one moment am I saying that there's a problem with Duolingo, but I might do later on. Depends whether I warm up or not. The issue is with Duolingo, and I've been learning Esperanto, and I'm also rekindling my French. And I've been using Duolingo. We've been paying so that we don't have ads and things like that. One of the issues that I have with Duolingo is that it's a yes or no. It's a right or wrong, okay? The issue that I've got with that is that that's not what language is about. Language isn't this is right or wrong. Language is a lot more subtle than that. And so sometimes word order can be changed. Sometimes it can't, but sometimes it can. Duolingo doesn't have a lot of flexibility when it comes to that. It also doesn't tell you why you're wrong. It just says, no, it's this. It doesn't tell you anything about what you've done or why that should be the case, even what it is that this word is that you're looking for to use. You know, is it a preposition? Is it a noun? Is it a verb? Is it an adjective? Is it a conjugated verb? You've got no flipping idea. The other thing that I found with Duolingo, apart from those issues, is that it's really boring. It's really boring. They send you down some paths of learning that I just find really, really dry. Now I know, look, you know, it's not a bed of roses learning a language. It's not going to be all fun and laughter and ha ha ha, he he he, as they say in Spanish. It's not going to be that. You know, it's hard work. I know that because I've spent 25 years or more now learning Spanish. It's a hard road. However, what I also have learned is that if you can have fun while you do it, much better. If you can have a laugh while you're doing it, much better. But also, if you learn things that you can apply in your life, if you learn things that make you interested, that you're interested in, it really helps. And that, in my opinion, is where Duolingo falls flat like a flan in a cupboard. It is boring. Even the things that are supposed to be fun are really boring. I believe that they've turned over the whole of their platform to artificial intelligence. And so it's being created that way. That can explain a lot, because I like artificial intelligence. I use it as a workhorse for a lot of the things that we do. But I have noticed that it really is quite boring. If you've ever read a story written by AI, it's very boring. It's bland. It's got a lack of soul. Una falta de alma. And that's what I see in Duolingo. It's just like, give me a sentence that might actually be of value to me. Give me something that I could use rather than the immigrant came from Botswana. Okay? Fair enough. You know, they were talking about the world, but the likelihood of me using that in Esperanto is very limited. You know, far better that I know how to say, how are you? What have you been doing? What did you do yesterday? What are you going to do tomorrow? What do you think of? You know, and conversations like that where you really embed them in. Conversational conversations. Duolingo doesn't do that. It just tells you where cats are situated, where the dog is. I know how to say cat and dog. They're absolutely obsessed. I don't know why. Every time there's a place to be mentioned, Toronto or Berlino, Berlin. Toronto or Berlin. It's just over and over again. And it's like, this is the issue when something doesn't have a human touch to it, because you get this repetition, meaningless repetition, okay? But hey, I just said at the beginning, I'm moving to ChatGPT. So surely that's exactly the same. Yes, it is. ChatGPT is soulless. And yes, you can be tricked by the voice, and you can be tricked by this chatty little voice that's hey, 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 he, he. But really, the content is fairly soulless, but it's very good. It's just as long as you remember that you're not talking to a person, you were talking to a soulless machine. And what I'm going to say to you is this. I have started to use ChatGPT to rekindle my French and to continue my learning of Esperanto. However, had I not have done the time with Duolingo at the beginning, maybe I wouldn't be enjoying it as much. So I'm not saying that if I were to start again, I wouldn't use Duolingo. I think I would to get that grounding. But as soon as I started then finding it extremely repetitive and boring, which happens, I think, maybe after about a year of using it, maybe a bit more, then I would move to ChatGPT. How do you use it? ChatGPT is really simple to use. And I think we pay because we use it for the business, but it's also free, I think. And all it is, you just ask it. You say, give me a comprehension lesson on Esperanto. If you were learning, or whatever, on Spanish, yeah? Give me a comprehension test in Spanish, level A2. You will get something to read, or just give me a test, and it will provide you with a test. Now, the issues with ChatGPT is this. You can get it to read what it's written. The problem is, at the moment, it reads at the speed of light.
Test de français, partie 1. Choisis la bonne option. Si je aurais plus d'argent, je voyagerais en Espagne. Elle mangera une pizza demain soir.
Now, in your own language, in English, if it's English, your own language, no problem. But when you're learning a language, you can't have the voice at the speed of light. You've got to have it at least 2 times slower. There's not a facility for that, and that's a big deal, and I want them to sort that out. Because I think ChatGPT will be a boon for people who are learning. It won't replace, for the moment, I just don't think it will. It won't replace having a teacher. Definitely not. Because it's not a teacher. So when it explains something, and it does get, at least it gives you an explanation. But when it explains it, it's very matter of fact, and it's very fast. You know, it's kind of blah, 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 and that's it. So it makes it a bit more difficult to get into it, like a conversation that you would have with somebody, a real person. But when you're working on your own and you just want to have some tests and to check your Spanish level and stuff like that, it's fantastic. I would use it if I were you. And so that's it. Duolingo no longer will be on my agenda. And ChatGPT doing tests in Esperanto, doing tests in French, and you could do it for tests in Spanish. Great little tool. Absolutely fabulous tool. But be careful. Warning. It isn't always right. It makes mistakes. In fact, to put a little disclaimer at the bottom, AI can make mistakes too. And así de veces, okay, this means a lot in Spain. Así de veces, I have answered a question and it has said, no, that's wrong. Because, and then it writes the answer, which is identical to the answer that I wrote. And then as it writes the answer, it says, oops, actually, you were right. Okay, so I've already gone through the montaña rusa, oh, it was wrong. Wait a minute, oh, it's right. Right? It's an emotional roller coaster with ChatGPT. So be careful. Do not assume that what it tells you is 100% right. Because it isn't always. But a lot it is. Muchas veces sí. Bueno, eso es todo, chicos. Gracias por pasar un ratito conmigo. Y if you've used ChatGPT, put in the comments what you think of it and what you've done and how it's helped you. And if you use Duolingo and you think I'm wrong by saying that it's boring and it doesn't give you sentences that actually help you, tell me off. And if you agree with me, tell me that you agree with me. Bueno, chicos, gracias y nos vemos en el siguiente vídeo. Os quiero mucho.